Penny for your thoughts, better yet, your 2 cents. We are all, or will be in the near future, taxpayers. And as taxpayers, you should be aware of the nation's debt and how it affects you as a taxpayer. It affects us in regards to consumer mortgages, car loans, interest rates on credit cards. It even weakens the job market. Nobody here wants to work for the rest of their lives, and smart financial decisions that we make today could save our future generations from inflation and ultimately the possibility of economy collapses. Today I'm going to talk to you about how the minting of a penny actually has a large effect on our nation's debt. And you might think to yourself, how could a penny affect the nation's debt? Well, the fact of the matter is that it costs 0.197 cents to make a penny, which is worth 1 cent. It's almost double its face value to produce the coin as the coin is actually worth. In 2019 alone, there were 7 billion pennies that were minted. That equates to $70 million worth of pennies, but it also equates to an overall production cost of $132 million. That's a loss of $68 million on the minting of a penny in 2019 alone. If you go back and look historically, we've actually lost money on the penny and the nickel since 2006. And from 2006 to 2019, the U.S. Mint, aka the U.S. Treasury, has lost a total of $1.1 billion simply by producing these coins each year, because it costs more to make each one of them. A penny costs 2 cents to make, a nickel costs almost 8 cents to make, whereas a dime only costs about 4 cents to make, and a quarter costs about 7. So the U.S. Mint is still profitable, but only because of the minting of these other coins. The profits of these coins is called seigniorage, and this seigniorage is taken every year because the U.S. Mint sells coins to financial institutions and banks at face value. This is profit, okay? Cost or money over cost of production is seigniorage, and while in 2019, I believe there was a $318 million seigniorage from the U.S. Mint that was applied towards the national debt, that $318 million could have been turned into $421 million in that year. So $1.1 billion towards the national debt in the past 13 years could have been applied simply by not producing these coins. Now let me ask you, sir, you're holding a $2 bill. Would you let me buy your $2 bill for $1 worth of pennies?
No.
No, why would you, right? That doesn't make any sense. These are worth less than the currency that you're holding. It's not smart. It's not good for business to trade something that does not have the same value monetarily wise. You're losing money. We as a society can cut down on the losses that the U.S. Mint suffers every year by simply keeping these coins in circulation. If we didn't hoard pennies, if we didn't save pennies, if you saw a penny on the ground and you picked it up and you kept it in circulation, the U.S. Mint would not have to produce as many coins every year to keep up with demand in the marketplace, to make change, if you will. But a loss is still a loss. And when is the last time you walked past a penny on the ground and you stopped to pick it up for anything other than good luck? You wouldn't do that. It doesn't make sense. Now, some people would say that if you stopped minting a penny, that it would cost us as consumers more money. And while you would be right in saying that it would, it's called a rounding tax, and it only applies to cash transactions. Basically, they would round up to the nearest 5 cents on a cash transaction because it could no longer make change for anything less than a 5-cent denomination. And that makes sense, but in the grand scheme of things, people round up all the time with Acorn or savings accounts and things of that nature where their total is $27.32. They round it up to $28 and they save and invest the rest of it. It means nothing to them. 2, 3, 4 cents on a cash transaction is minimal, especially when you have the prominence of debit and credit cards, pay apps like Venmo, Cash App, things of that nature, and the ever-evolving cryptocurrencies that are becoming much more prominent in the marketplace. So, doesn't really matter. The penny production is nothing more at this point than historical significance to the American people. It portrays Lincoln on the cent, and people love Lincoln. That's great, but it's not smart for us to continue to mint a penny when we lose so much money on it, and that money is a direct loss or something that could have been gained towards our national debt, which helps us in the long run. Future generations to come, it helps us to keep that national debt as low as possible. And if you can minimize that by simply stopping the production of a coin that nobody cares to keep up with, then why not? Why wouldn't you, right? I hope that you've learned something today about the coins that are produced by the U.S. Mint every year, and I hope you agree with my case to cease the production of this coin. But if you don't, newsflash, in 2023, the U.S. Mint will no longer produce the penny, so prepare yourself for that. Thank you for listening.